everybody. Always a joy to talk to Chris Matizjik here from ZDNet. And Chris always has great stories for us, articles here for ZDNet where we cover all kinds of different things, Chris. And everything is technology related, of course, on our site. And this particular story, we're talking about how technology, unfortunately, may not be serving us well. And we've kind of heard it before, but a new survey suggests, says you're going to tell us that we are getting what? Impatient because of technology, right?
Oh, Karen, can't you hurry up? I've got loads of other things to do. That intro was at least 20 seconds. I mean, seriously, couldn't you have cut that to 10? Yes, apparently a new survey of 2,000 British people who volunteered that they are terribly impatient, that they can only wait 22 seconds for a streaming video to come on their television or on their computer. And if it doesn't come on within those 22 seconds, they will go crazy. They will totally lose it, which in the case of 2,000 Brits probably means they'd raise an eyebrow. But it does raise, I mean, these sort of surveys, you have to laugh a little bit. Well, at least I have to laugh a little bit, because it was sponsored by a company that makes ballpoint pens. So the purpose of the survey was to show that Brits are perfectly patient to wait for a handwritten letter to arrive for 3.8 days or something. So, you know, clearly they kind of created this survey to create a little noise. On the other hand, I ask you, Karen, since technology has come in, have you become slightly more impatient yourself?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. And I'm raising little people who are impatient as well.
Are they naturally impatient from the very beginning? From the minute you put an iPad into their hands to shut them up, did they become impatient?
They have been swiping, yes, since pretty much from day one. So they do get impatient. You know, they when a video doesn't play right away or something doesn't come on as they expect it. I have noticed there's no patience. And I do.
But is there anything you feel you can do about it? Do you take away their technology to teach them patience? Do you lock them up in a room and say, there is no technology in here, think about yourself, meditate, do some mindfulness perhaps?
That really does sound all fine and good. The problem is I find myself being more impatient. You know, if something doesn't load sometimes right away, I'll move on to the next thing. And it is, I think the survey is definitely, it's right on the money.
And I think the saddest part is they said 22 seconds, whereas in America it would be 2.2 seconds, because the natural impatience in the American culture as it is exacerbated by the fact that we are now taught or conditioned to believe we can be instantly gratified by any piece of technology. And those who make the technology actually work in order to satisfy that gratification all the time. So we actually are now conditioned to believe that we can press a button, say a word, and immediately we'll get whatever the hell it is we want. And how that actually translates into our personal life can be quite dangerous if you think about it. Imagine going on a date. I know that neither of us have done that for a while, but imagine going on a date and you immediately want to be instantly gratified before the main course of dinner arrives. I mean, that would be a little kind of crazy. But I think there's a sadness that technology is inadvertently, of course, because technology is entirely innocent, especially those who make it, that it's caused us to actually believe we have to focus on that instant gratification. And if we don't get it instantly, our moods change. It's quite extraordinary that technology is now creating apps to help us calm down when technology in the first place is doing everything possible not to calm us down and to keep us, one of the American words I learned when I moved here is you have to be excited. You can't be looking forward to something, you have to be excited. And I think technology has made us even more excited about every single thing that we could possibly want via technology.
Yeah, and there is so little downtime, Chris. That's the problem. And you know, when we talk so much about, let's say 5G, for instance, we keep saying 5G is coming, and the great thing about 5G is that we'll have faster speeds, lower latency, all of these great things that will only make us happier, more excited because we're getting things even quicker.
But that's the opposite, though, isn't it? Is more excited making us more happy, or is in fact more excited making us these rather sad Pavlovian dogs who are waiting for the ring of the bell all the time and desperate to have the next piece of gratification to get us through the next 2 minutes. We sleep with our phones right next to our beds. It's the first thing we reach for in the morning. And I confess, I'm that sort of sad person. And we want something from it. We reach for it. And if we're doing that from the very moment we wake up till the moment we go to sleep, there's something quite scary in there.
Yeah, there is. There is, no doubt. And you know, with every problem that we're putting out there, we try somewhat with our articles here and things to pass on tips and ways we can improve on this. And for this particular problem, Chris, I don't know, what is the answer? That people just need to be more mindful about taking a step back or putting it away for a while, having nights where you say, you know, electronics are cut off. I mean, what's the answer? I don't know that there is one.
I think ZDNet needs a psychology section where people can turn to that very part to get all kinds of counseling. Like this video is counseling, isn't it? I mean, we are counseling people to look at themselves and say, you know what? Are you sure you like being the way you are right now? And have a think about how technology might be affecting that. Even Apple, even Tim Cook, bless him. He claims he doesn't want us to spend so much time on our iPhones. He claims.
So, well, I guess the answer is we take a step back, become a little more mindful. You mentioned earlier meditation. I know these are all good things, and just putting them into play, Chris, that's the challenge, right?
Honestly, we have to look at ourselves now, because imagine what we're going to become when we become older and even more crotchety.
That's a scary thought. We'll end on that one. All right. Chris's full article and more on that survey can be found on ZDNet. Thanks so much for watching.